We have an update on San Diego Comic-Con for Marvel Studios Hall H. We have an update for Disney's D23 event and Avengers 5. And some of the news that we're going to go over today can either be really good or it could be kind of bad. It all kind of really depends how you look at things, but I personally believe that we are right on the cusp of the MCU feeling really, really big, really, really exciting, really, really great again. Deadpool and Wolverine is next week, then we have San Diego Comic-Con, then we have D23. Things are about to get super exciting in our world. However, we do have to address some Avengers 5 news first before we dive into what's about to happen at San Diego Comic-Con and D23. Some of you might have heard this news yesterday, but Michael Waldron, who was supposed to write Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars, who wrote in the past Loki Season 1 and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, he is no longer writing Avengers 5. Now, as I mentioned, depending on how you look at this could be really bad or really good. Now, right now, this movie is left without a writer, without a director, and without an official title. So it's kind of easy to see how this could be pretty bad for Avengers 5. However, right now Marvel Studios is in a certain mindset when it comes to their movies and when it comes to their shows. And their main focus is making sure that everything is really, really good. Even if that means rewriting a movie altogether, even if they've already filmed most of the movie. If they look at it and decide that it's not good enough and needs to be better, they will do what they can to make it better. The perfect example of that is Captain America: Brave New World. That movie has gone through a lot of changes, but no matter where they were at in the production and the filming, if they thought it could be better, they decided to make the changes to make it better. And honestly, the trailer looks amazing, and I really welcome the more serious, grounded tone that we haven't seen for a little bit in the MCU, at least not like this. And here's the deal. Nexus Point News in their article still says that Michael Waldron is still attached to write Avengers Secret Wars. So they didn't simply fire him. It's not like they don't like him. He wrote Loki Season 1, Multiverse of Madness. Then they hired him to write both of these films. So they clearly like Michael Waldron. However, he was not originally hired to write Avengers 5. It was originally Jeff Loveness who wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Then Marvel Studios decided to make some changes after everything happened with Jonathan Majors. Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, was originally supposed to direct the film. However, he was removed from the project, but is still working with Marvel Studios. Then Jeff Loveness was removed as the writer, and we haven't heard anything about him still working for Marvel. Then Michael Waldron was attached, and it sounds like he wrote a script, and now they are simply going to bring in some other people to kind of top it off, to polish it up. And again, this script has probably gone through a lot of changes already. Jeff Loveness probably had his version for the Kang Dynasty, then everything happened with Jonathan Majors. Kang is probably a less prominent character in the film now, if he's in the film at all now. So Michael Waldron probably cleaned up the original script, and now they're having more people come in. And like I mentioned, Michael Waldron is still attached to write Avengers Secret Wars. So it seems like they clearly weren't super upset with Michael Waldron and what he's done, but they are simply trying to get the best possible script for this movie that they can. So I view this as a good thing. I view all of these rewrites, all of these changes that Marvel Studios is willing to make. I think these are good. I think they are being very realistic about things, and they are looking at things non-biasedly and going, okay, this can be better. How do we make it better? And then they are taking the actual steps needed to make these things better. So I think this is great news. And the reason you had to know this before we dove into the SDCC stuff is because clearly they need to give us some pretty big updates at San Diego Comic-Con. And some really great news is we know exactly when San Diego Comic-Con is going to take place now. The exact time that Marvel Studios is having their SDCC Hall H panel is going to be happening on July 27th, which is Saturday, which is normal. It'll happen at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. So 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time, that is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Now, an hour isn't a ton of time. However, as of right now, it doesn't look like Marvel Studios is listed for anything really big at D23. And this could absolutely change. Just because it doesn't mention anything about Marvel Studios right now doesn't mean that they won't update the list really close to D23. However, D23 does list a Marvel animation panel, and the description for that panel reads, "See what's coming next to Disney Plus from Marvel Animation, with special guests and first looks at hotly anticipated series including Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Eyes of Wakanda, future seasons of Marvel What If, X-Men 97, and more. So that is all that is listed right now, and if that remains that way, if we're only getting Marvel animation at D23, it seems like a lot is gonna go down at SDCC. If they don't have any live action plans ready for D23, then that probably means they're doing most of them at Hall H. And a lot of big insiders in our community who we talk a lot about on the channel have all expressed that they are deeply excited for this upcoming Hall H panel. And they've all pretty much said that it sounds like this is going to be pretty big. Now, I don't know if they really do know what's going to happen or if they're just trying to hype it up. But also, Marvel Studios did not attend San Diego Comic-Con last year. It's been a while since they've really given us a big official update, so we are definitely owed one by them, especially with all of the changes that have happened recently. Well, recently and over the past few years, we've had all of the strikes, we've had a lot of release date changes, movies have been changed entirely, and we still do not have the entirety of Phase 6. There's a lot of rumored projects that Marvel Studios is reportedly going to release that we just don't know about yet. So that's what I'm expecting from Hall H this year from Marvel Studios, a complete Phase 6 reveal, which I think a lot of fans are really hoping for as well. I hope they reveal all of the movies for Phase 6 and all of the shows too, of course, and I hope we get an update on Avengers 5. And with that, an update on Kang the Conqueror. I feel like that's something that Marvel Studios really does need to address so they can put all of the rumors out there to rest, because there are a lot of rumors going on out there. And if Marvel has made up their mind with the direction that they want to go, in which they should have, because early next year is when Avengers 5 is going to start filming, and if that is the case, then they should tell the public, hey, here's what was going to happen, here's what is happening now. Whether that be a Kang recast for Jonathan Majors or a removal of Kang altogether, they need to let us know what's going on. So here's basically what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get some updates for movies that are right around the corner, like Captain America Brave New World. Deadpool and Wolverine will already be out by the time San Diego Comic-Con comes, but it will only be out for a few days, so we might get a little something for Deadpool and Wolverine. But I think we're going to get stuff about Agatha, Daredevil Born Again, definitely some Fantastic Four stuff, and then after that, hopefully an update on probably Blade, hopefully Avengers 5, and then the reveal of Phase 6. I think that that's what our San Diego Comic-Con Hall H panel for Marvel Studios is going to be. Some quick updates on the very immediate projects coming out next for Marvel Studios, and then an update about the future of Marvel Studios, because Marvel's not dumb. Kevin Feige's not dumb. They know what we want to hear. They know if they want to make a splash at SDCC, they need to reveal some more projects. In fact, I've actually seen a fairly decent amount of comments stating that right now, some people are more excited for DC than Marvel Studios at San Diego Comic-Con this year. And some people are just excited about DC more just in general because of everything they have going out. And there's a lot of confusion as what's to come next for Marvel Studios. But again, Marvel Studios, they see all this stuff. They hear all the things that fans are talking about, and they know that if they want to make SDCC big, they gotta reveal Phase 6. And insiders say that this one's gonna be a big one. So my fingers are crossed. I'm hopeful. So much has happened, especially with this news over the weekend that Michael Waldron exited Avengers 5. So there are just a ton of updates that we need from Marvel Studios, and I'm thinking we're gonna get them during Hall H. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you excited, or are you trying not to get your hopes up too high for this? I'm somewhere in between. I'm definitely excited. I told you what I think is gonna happen, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things with the MCU. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.